Good morning Year 3 and welcome to week 11 maths. This week we are going to be learning about volume. We will understand and compare volumes, measure in litres, add and subtract volumes and multiply and divide volumes. So today's learning is understanding and comparing volume. Now, as you know, if we were in class, we would have lots of resources and we would be using them to explore and get an understanding of volume using those resources. But possibly you may have some things around the home that you can use just to try and get an initial understanding. For example, we've got some empty containers in the picture here. I've got some different sized empty containers. Now the capacity of these containers is the total amount of fluid that they could hold. If I put some liquid into this container, the volume of water is the amount of water in that container. So the capacity is how full I could have made it, how much the container could hold. The volume of water is the amount of water in the container. Now what I'd like you to do at home is to find some empty containers of different sizes and just do a little bit of an experiment just so you can see how the water amount stays the same but it looks different in different containers. So you can fill up an amount of water, you might use some food colouring so you can see it better, and then I'd like you to mark on the container the water level. Then transfer it into another container and mark the water level, and then a different container and mark the water level. Now it looks as though the amount of water has changed if you look at the lines on the different containers. But if we put the water back in the original container, you will see it's exactly the same. So that tells us that the amount of water remains the same even when we pour it into different containers. So the volume of water is the same, it's the capacity of the containers that changes. So have a go at that at home, see what you can find. I'm sure you'll have lots of different shapes and sizes of containers, and you might be surprised at some of the results that you get depending on the shape of the container. So again, I have to use some pictures because I don't have containers of every shape and size in school to show you. But we have bottle A and bottle B. They're both exactly the same size and they contain the same amount of lemonade. So we can say that bottle A contains as much lemonade as bottle B and vice versa. If we wanted to check that, have a think, how could we check it? Hopefully, some of you will have a measuring cylinder or a measuring jug at home, and you could check the volume of A and B by pouring it into the measuring jug or cylinder and just checking the volume. This one's got the markings down the side, I hope you can see that. Here we have two containers, container A and B. Now the containers are the same, but what do you notice about the volume of water in each of the containers? Have a think and see whether you can write a sentence down using the words volume, more than or less than to describe what we see in containers A and B. So we can say the volume of water in container A is more than the volume of water in container B. And we can see there the water level goes up higher in this container than in this container. Because they're the same size, we know therefore that this is more than this one. We could also say the volume of water in container B is less than the volume of water in container A. So hopefully you managed to pick that out. So again, we've got 4 identical bottles. That means that the capacity of each bottle, the amount that they could hold, is the same. So Ava pours water into 4 identical bottles. So have a look and tell me, does she pour the same amount of water, the same volume of water into each bottle? And then I've got some other things I'd like you to think about. So read the questions and then pause the video and have a go at answering them. Which bottle has the most amount of water? Which has the least? Which bottle has less than bottle D? And the volume of water in bottle D is less than the volume of water in bottles blank and blank. The volume of water bottle A is greater than the volumes of water in bottles blank and blank. So pause it, have a go at answering them. So hopefully you will come up with the answers. The bottle with the most amount of water is bottle C. The least amount of water is bottle D, and we can see that just by looking at them. Which bottle has less water than bottle D? Well, if we look at the volume of the water in bottle D, we can see these two have more, but bottle B has less. And the volume of water in bottle D is less than the volume of water in bottles C and A. So D is less than these two. And then the volume of water in bottle A is greater than, so that means it's more than, the volume of water in bottles B and D. So that's comparing the different volumes. And we can compare these because the bottles are identical in size. If these bottles were not the same, we wouldn't be able to make the same statements about the volume of water, because as we saw in the other containers, when they are different sizes and shapes, the water looks very different in them. So here we have a couple of jugs. Now Grace fills the glasses with all the water from jug A in these glasses and all the water from jug B in these glasses. So what does that tell us about how much water was in each of the jugs? Well, it tells us that jug A has 6 glasses of water and jug B had 3 glasses of water. So we can say then that jug A contains more water than jug B, and jug B contains less water than jug A. So again, we have 3 jugs. This time Josh is filling glasses with all of the water, so he's emptying all of the water out of these jugs and filling up as many glasses as he can. The same with this one and the same with this one. Have a look at these questions, pause the video, and then we'll come back and answer them together. So, which jug contains the least amount of water? Well, we can see by looking at it that jug B certainly has a lower amount than A and C is slightly more, but we can also count the number of glasses that he filled. He filled 3 glasses from jug B, so we know that that's the least amount. And again, we can see from looking at them that A has most, B has least, and C has in between. So which jug has more water than jug C? Well, again, looking at it, we can see that it's A, but we can also count the number of glasses of water, and jug A has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 10, sorry, 10 glasses of water, which is more than the 5 of jug C. Jug A contains how many more glasses of water than jug B? So we would take away 3 from 10 and we would say 7 more glasses. And jug B contains how many fewer glasses of water than jug C? So that's less than, and again 5 take away 3 is 2. So 2 fewer glasses. So today's task, we have a variety of containers with different volumes of fluid in them, and you have to write more or less in the spaces, so you're comparing them here. Here we have some, again, containers that are the same with different volumes of water, and these 2 questions you have to look at the containers as well as the volume to work that out, but you have to write more or less in all of the spaces. And then we have a couple of questions where you are looking at the volume of water in different shaped containers and how much they can hold or how much is poured into them or out of them, and some questions to fill in. And finally, Mr. Bell has 4 flasks and he's using all of the tea in them to fill up cups. with different amounts of cups of tea from them, and you've got to fill in the blanks on these questions here. So good luck with that, and we'll come back with the answers tomorrow.